So this week might be one of the most exciting weeks for me. And I say that of the year. And there's only one reason why. It's because Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness comes out this week. And if you don't know this already, and if you're just tuned in, welcome to the channel. My name is Juan from q.v.o Games. And if you don't know this already, I am the biggest Marvel fan. And I love Marvel. Not their biggest fan, I guess, but I'm a fan of Marvel, and I'm a pretty big one. But yeah, and that's what today we're doing. Before you buy 5-minute Marvel. So, new video series kind of thing. These are more smaller box games that they're pretty simple, honestly. And I want to do a shorter video series for people who, just want a shorter video, I guess. And I'm trying to do that as a whole with most of my videos. However, sometimes that doesn't go the way as planned. But that's what we're trying to do. So yeah, 5-minute Marvel. So yeah, an exciting week. Multiverse of Madness comes out, I think, on Thursday, which would be tomorrow for when this video comes up, but we're shooting this video on a Tuesday. The day before, because I forgot to plan this out correctly. But, 5-minute Marvel. So, if you're not aware what the 5-minute series is, it's the Spin Master game series, and it's basically a game that you play in 5 minutes. Not the whole game itself, but you can definitely play a section of a game in 5 minutes. I get to play the mystery one that just came out recently, which I'm aching to try, to be honest, but I haven't really gotten around to purchasing it or finding a copy for it. So, you have an app in 5-minute Marvel, and in the app itself, you have a timer. It's not what the whole game's about. The whole game's mostly about the cards, and the cards on the table you're going to be seeing now here shortly. It's basically a boss, and the boss is basically the final monster, and there's the Green Goblin, MODOK, Red Skull, Loki, and the biggest bad, Thanos, with his Infinity Gauntlet. You're fighting through a set of cards, and each boss has a set amount of cards, and for example, Green Goblin is boss number 1, and he has 15 cards. And each of these cards have different monsters, villains from the Marvel Universe, and they each have different symbols. And the different symbols are going to basically just be like a fist, a jump, and a tech. And the exact names, actually, I always get these wrong. It's, fist, tech, shield, energy, and jump. Basically got it right. Awesome. Fist, tech, shield, and jump. Shield, and they all have different enemies you have to fight through. And the goal of the game, it is a cooperative game. And let's just say we have this one faced up here. Actually, the setup would be like this. Boom, boom. Your goal is to have, from this deck of cards, is to bring out a card and play it to defeat it. That was not planned. We didn't get 3 for 3. So it's to defeat it, and you have in 5-minute Marvel, actually 5-minute Dungeon as well. 5-minute Dungeon is the original game, and then 5-minute Marvel was kind of like a spin-off, I'm assuming. And they both honestly play pretty similarly. They have a little bit of a difference, and I'll go over them a little bit later in the video. But 5-minute Marvel, you play these cards, and you have heroes to pick from in 5-minute Marvel. You're picking out different heroes, and they have a variety. Captain America, they have Medusa from the Inhumans, which I'm like, why include Medusa but not Black Bolt? I know why, but I'm not going to reference it, but I think I know why they include Medusa or Black Bolt. But yeah, they have different heroes. They have at least 8 heroes, I think. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 heroes to pick from different parts of the comics as well. And they each have abilities on top of that. So if you look here, this is your player. They call it a player mat. I'm assuming there's mats, but these don't look like mats to me. And there's two sides to it. There's the non-injured side and the injured side. So when you're injured, you basically just can't use the character's special ability. And the reason why you're injured, it comes from the crisis cards. And the crisis cards add a level of difficulty to the game. And you have to put them in depending on how many players are playing. It kind of makes it difficult in that way. So you pick your hero, you set up the deck, and you start the timer on your app on the phone. Or you can even do it with like a personal timer. It doesn't have to be the app. The app can be a little obnoxious sometimes, but you definitely can do either or. And then you just grab your special ability cards from the specific hero you picked. For example, Spider-Gwen, who I think is now called Ghost Spider. I'm not too sure if that's still a thing. Has a couple of Spider-Sons, and then I picked Spider-Man out here just because, I'm a fan of the Spider Universe. So, but yeah, I just picked these cards, and they all have different abilities as well. And each character has its own little deck of cards with those. So, you basically shuffle this whole deck, and you just dish them out equally between all the players. And you just start the game up. So, The game actually, like I said, plays in 5 minutes. You can play a boss in 5 minutes, call it a day. Or you can play through all of them 30 minutes if you don't lose. Because when you lose, you start from the beginning of the game. How do you lose? Is when the timer runs out, or if you can no longer play any cards to defeat the big bad, or the villains, or the big bad. And it does happen. I'm not too sure. It does happen. You can lose. I'm not too sure how often it does happen in 5 Minute Marvel, because it seems like it's an easier version of the 5 minute series of games. However, it does happen. You run out of cards, or you just don't have the cards to play against them, and you're out of it. But you could discard, and I mean, you get all the cards. All the cards are in play, so it's really difficult not to win, I feel. In 5 Minute Marvel, you're also trying to... Actually, there's nothing else you're trying to do. You're trying to defeat the monster, that's it. That's really simple. The boss. It's really simple. Going into, like, the portion of the game. So the game itself is a lot of fun. And I'm going to be making a little bit of a comparison to the 5 Minute Dungeon series, because I feel like that one, for me personally, was better. I love Marvel, of course, but the reskin just seems like some things were changed. And I'm not too sure if they were supposed to be streamlined, or if they were supposed to fix things from the first one, because things that happen in 5 Minute Dungeon is that you eventually end up running out of cards, and you don't have enough cards because each deck is specifically catered to a certain type of resource, right? So it can be either, I think there was like a paladin, a archer and bow and arrow. They had a lot of characters there as well. I think about 10 actually, with actually nice big player boards. And they each played and had a specific type of resource they used more often. And there was moments where you were playing your character, and against a specific dungeon boss or a specific set of cards that you shuffled in, you end up running out of cards extremely fast. I felt like 5 Minute Dungeon was a lot harder than 5 Minute Marvel is. And it feels like they streamlined the experience of it more, or it's catered more to a younger crowd. And that's the thing, that's what I think it is, because it's honestly a family game. Anyone can play both games. But I feel like 5 Minute Marvel was specifically made for younger people, which makes me sad because I'm an adult who loves Marvel. I'm just kidding. But so that's the thing about the game, is that it feels like when you're adding all the whole deck, it feels really easy, honestly. I don't feel the pressure I felt with 5 Minute Dungeon in any way, shape, or form. So it definitely is a little bit of a lighter game. I do love Marvel, so I wanted to try out the Marvel reskin on this game. And I do love the 5 Minute Dungeon series. I mean, it was probably one of my most played games a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, because we literally would bring it out every time. Like, oh, we're ending the game night. Oh, we're starting the game night. Let's amp it up a little bit with this fast-paced game before we went into like something long, like a heavy Euro, which for some people it can drag. But that's essentially, the game plays fairly well. It's really cool to be able to play as your hero and fight through the monsters or the baddies, but it does feel like it's missing something, like an expansion or level of difficulty that I think 5 Minute Dungeon did and had, and which did a lot better, honestly. The thing about the game, that's honestly the game is actually a really good game. It just is a little too light for me personally. I still love it, and I'm still going to play it every once in a while, but 5 Minute Dungeon is probably my preferred one as of right now. I'm not so sure they're going to make more, but I definitely think Spin Master should make more. It's a really good series, and the games are actually really fun. The game itself, the before you buy portion of the game, right? Before you buy 5 Minute Marvel, keep this in mind. What audience are you playing with? Is it more of a younger crowd? Or are you buying it for yourself? Are you more of a lighter game player? The game is actually fairly easy and light, and does not require too much. It doesn't require too much commitment. I mean, you can play it in 5 minutes. That's the great part about it. However, it can be a very light experience. And if you're not a fan of the comic book series, I would highly recommend going with 5 Minute Dungeon. 5 Minute Marvel is a good game, but it is more of a lighter experience. And if you're not a fan of Marvel, definitely recommend going with the 5 Minute Dungeon series instead. However, all the card art is really nice. Playing as some of my favorite comic book characters is a lot of fun. And I'm sure if you enjoy that aspect of it, it would be a lot of fun too. A little bit of a plus, I guess, is that this is literally the rule book. It's fairly small, easy to learn, easy to get to the table. I think it retails for $20-25, which is not too bad for a game that you probably would be playing at least 10-20 times, depending on how much you value your time. I mean, if you divide 25 by 10, right? Let's say I can't do math off the top of my head. 25 by 25 plays, it's $1 per play, right? If you do it that way. By 10, it'd be like $2.50, I want to say. I'm not sure. I think it'd be like something else. I'm not sure at all. But it's definitely a game worth trying at least once, or buying it if you enjoy the reskin of it. That's honestly it. That was the shortest review I think I've done on the channel. Let me know what you thought. Follow, comment, like, subscribe, do all that and more. Let's talk about the game. Let me know if you like the game, if you don't like the game. Have you tried the game? Do you want to try the game? Are you excited for that Doctor Strange movie coming out in like 2 days? Definitely let me know. My name is Juan from q.v.o Games, and